goes down. At least they called this one. A'ja Wilson creams Lexie Hull like she did 5 times in game 1. Peggy Hammond get 15 calls in a row and one goes another way and she starts screaming and crying. A'ja Wilson doesn't like Lexie Hull. She's always pushing her, but that's an illegal screen, and then Lexie Hull gets called for a foul.
The Indiana Fever walked into Las Vegas facing not only the defending champions, but also a storm of whistles and bruises. Game 1 shocked the league. Game 2 left everyone asking whether basketball had even been played at all. Tonight, we break down how the Fever stunned the Aces in the opener, how the officials turned Game 2 into chaos, and why the shift to Indianapolis changes everything. Let's start with Game 1. Indiana didn't just win, they dismantled the Aces on their own floor. Kelsey Mitchell set the tone immediately, exploding for a playoff career high of 34 points. She hit shots from everywhere, deep threes, off-the-dribble drives, and fearless finishes at the rim. Vegas tried to push pace, but Indiana refused to lose control. Their offense flowed like clockwork, patient but relentless. Aaliyah Boston anchored the paint, while the Fever's discipline kept the Aces from finding rhythm. Even A'ja Wilson, the MVP, struggled all night. 6 makes on 22 shots. Every attempt was contested. Every cut was smothered. The Aces had no answers. And when the final horn sounded, it was Indiana who left with a 16-point victory. But the tone changed in Game 2. And not in the way fans expected. From the opening minutes, it was clear Las Vegas came in determined to fight back. But instead of adjustments and execution, the game turned into a brawl. Arms locked, shoulders thrown, players colliding mid-cut. And the whistle, it never stopped blowing. 41 fouls in total, 16 in the third quarter alone. The game ground into fragments, possession after possession chopped apart before it could build momentum. For Indiana, the chaos was devastating. This is a team that thrives in flow, moving the ball, running the floor, feeding shooters in rhythm. Instead, they were dragged into half-court slugfests where everything slowed to a crawl. Steph White, the Fever's head coach, put it simply after the game. It's hard to find flow when there's a foul called every 10 seconds. We can't get up and down the floor. Offense is about rhythm, spacing, timing, and we couldn't get any of it. The referees weren't the only problem. Vegas came in with a clear tactical shift. Erase Kelsey Mitchell. After her 34-point explosion in Game 1, she was shadowed everywhere. Face-guarded without the ball, double-teamed off screens, bumped like a pinball on every cut. Her scoring dropped to just 13 points. Not because she forgot how to score, but because the Aces threw their entire defense at her body. That left other Fever players to carry the load. Enter Lexie Hull. Hull injured her back in Game 1, and she was a game-time decision for Game 2. Most players would have sat out. Instead, she taped herself up, walked onto the floor, and started drilling threes. 5 of them, tying the Fever's playoff record. And everyone felt like defiance. Vegas targeted her with physical play, knocking her down repeatedly, yet she kept answering with daggers from deep. After the game, she admitted she was sore and had needed hours of treatment just to suit up. But she still played through it. That's toughness you can't teach. Aaliyah Boston fought through her own battle. 10 points, 13 rebounds, but every single touch came with a shove to the ribs or a hit to the back. Plays that should have earned free throws often went ignored. And then there was Odyssey Sims. 18 points on a night when Indiana's offense kept stalling. She turned broken possessions into baskets, pushed through contact, and gave the Fever a lifeline. Meanwhile, the headlines the next morning? They celebrated A'ja Wilson's stat line. 25 points, 9 rebounds, 5 steals, 2 blocks. What they didn't emphasize was how those numbers came. Repeated trips to the line, repeated collisions in the paint, and the kind of physicality that somehow only produced whistles one way. Even Becky Hammond, the Aces coach, admitted afterward that the game had been too physical. That detail matters. Because when the winning coach says the matchup got out of control, it shows this wasn't just playoff intensity, it was chaos. So here's the reality. The Fever didn't lose Game 2 because they were outplayed. They lost because the whistle and the bruises strangled their rhythm. Still, even in defeat, there were flashes. Hull's threes, Sims' drives, Boston's grit. They showed fight, even when the deck was stacked against them. And now, the series shifts. No more Vegas crowd roaring with every whistle. No more officials protected by silence. Now it's Indianapolis, Gainbridge Fieldhouse. A place where 17,000 fans make every possession thunder. At home this year, Indiana has flipped games with pure atmosphere. Opponents stumble in the second half. Runs build into avalanches, and the energy never dies down. Even Hammond admitted, "Our experience there has not been great this season. That's the X factor." In Las Vegas, questionable calls drowned out Indiana's rhythm. In Indianapolis, every bump on Boston, every hit on Hull, every shove on Mitchell will be magnified by the roar of the crowd. Officials can't hide when 17,000 voices explode in unison. The Fever know it. Hull said after Game 2, "Our fans show up and they show out." Boston echoed the same. This team feeds off that noise. And let's not forget, Indiana has already proven they can dismantle Vegas. Game 1 wasn't luck. It was discipline, control, execution. If they could do it in Vegas, imagine what they can do with Gainbridge behind them. So here's where the story stands. Game 1. Indiana shocks the champs, silencing the league with a double-digit road win. Game 2. Chaos, whistles, bodies flying, and Vegas surviving more than dominating. Now, Game 3. A series tied 1-1, shifting into a building where the Fever haven't just been good, they've been fearless. The question is simple. Can Las Vegas survive without the whistle leaning their way? Or will the Fever take all that pain, all those bruises, and turn them into fuel for the biggest homestand of their season? We're about to find out. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the next breakdown.